change the minds of some of the other parents of kids that are approaching this and seeing that, it's a great experience for the kids as well. So we have a lot of pride in our boys.
Yes, we do.
Well, a couple of proud moms here, as you should be. But I got to ask, because proud moms love to talk about their children, right? Do you get some funny looks when you tell maybe strangers or other folks what your son does for a living?
Absolutely, I do. And it's funny when you say, oh yeah, my kid, he's a professional gamer. They're like, oh really? The first thing that they'll say is, gee, maybe I can do this and make some money. He's really making money. And I'm like, it's not that easy. It takes a lot of work, and they work pretty hard at it. So it's funny when you try and relay what it is they do, and then they're like, oh my gosh, it takes a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, it does take a lot of work.
What I say is, anyone can be really good at doing video games or playing video games, but there's a really big difference between playing video games well and being an esports athlete. There's a lot that goes into it other than just playing the video game.
What are the differences? That's an interesting point there that you mentioned, Randy. I mean, being good at video games is one thing, but being an esport athlete is a bit different. What is the difference?
Well, there's a mental aspect, a physical aspect, a team camaraderie aspect, professionalism. You have to deal with sudden fame when they're used to being in their rooms, and now they're on stage. You have that protection of being in front of your computer, but now you are a personality on top of everything else. You have to put in a lot of hard work. 8 to 10 hours, sometimes even more. Scrims where they have to go, and look at other players and play. I mean, there is it's a whole lifestyle, just like a professional athlete, except their venue is digital technology.
And they have to have mothers who can come on and join these roundtable discussions for the Lone Star Challenge. I don't know why we call it a roundtable. There is no table in front of me. Maybe y'all are at a table. We'll just call it a video call, whatever. I don't even know anymore what we call these things. But I'm really glad y'all are here to talk about kind of the journey of an esport athlete. For Raucus and for Zachary. When and how did it all begin for them? Maybe not just the esports aspect, but really gaming, period. And Liz, we'll start with you on this.
It's a funny story because I have 2 older kids as well, and they were hard into World of Warcraft, and we would have, LAN parties at our house, and Zach was maybe, 7, 8 years old, and he was running quests, with our oldest son Brett's friends. So that's really where it started for him. And like I said, 8 years old, and then it just progressed into, he had, with Overwatch, teams that he would play with, they would compete. And that was at the age of 16 where this kind of all took a much more serious turn. And we started, being approached by teams for him to come on to and compete with professionally. So funny story, he started out at about 8 years old, and that's where it took us to where we are now.
And Randy, what about for Raucus's journey?
Well, similar to Liz, I have an older daughter, and Shane was about 2 or 3, and he would play video games with her on the Nintendo 64. They would play Zelda and Pokemon and GoldenEye and everything in between. They had console games, and before the PC, his first PC game was World of Warcraft, which I played. So I tried to, do something with him, but he took it to a whole nother level. Where I could never take it, and then I realized that this is something that's going to be big. When it was going to happen, I didn't know, but just the dedication and the focus, and just the dedication to the other team members, really showed something.
Excuse me, got something in my throat here.
No worries.
Was there any resistance or nurturing involved here? So, Randy, you mentioned that you played. Liz,
Yeah.
was it similar for you as well?
If I played, I've tried to play. They actually got me gaming computer, so we downloaded the game, and Zach teaches me about all the heroes and what they do, what their special abilities are, and McCree is my favorite because I like to shoot. And I try as best I can, but I just can't. I can't hold a game past the artificial and the AI games. I don't know, something about that. I think it moves too fast for me. I don't know what it is, but I would love to sit there and play and shoot him up with McCree because he is just my favorite. But I don't know. I can't do it. I think my scope of gaming is Golf It with Zach. When we get on and we'll play that, or Animal Crossing, because that's what we've been doing lately.
Well, I've noticed, so with a lot of this generation of esport athletes, it's because of the generation above them. Their parents played video games in some capacity growing up or as adults, and it's just kind of been this proliferation, whereas maybe your parents' parents or your grandparents just didn't have them around, so they don't really understand it. But now, as with each passing day, more and more of the older generations accept and understand esports. Randy, when did you realize that this was, what's that?
And they watch it now. Like his grandparents will watch it, when the games come on. They know about Twitch now. They know about YouTube. They know about streaming, and when they're on and they can watch. And so it's not just like the new generation coming up, but the older generations now are getting more involved into it too. So that's great.
Yeah, that's wild. Now it's kind of educated those older generations, and now there are watch parties of grandparents watching their grandkids play esports. It's really, to me, it's remarkable, and it's only growing from there. But when did you realize that this could be more than a hobby? When did you realize that, okay, Raucus is good at playing video games, but he can make money doing this?
Well, he kind of made money by selling virtual gold in one of the games. So there was a monetization aspect of it. But as far as esports and an esports league and an esports industry, he's a little bit older than Zachary, so we've been in it a little bit longer. He started getting recruited, and there were tournaments way back when, all online. Some you would go to big, they would have venues, and he started getting recruited. And I was like, yeah, because how many people are out there? But he got recruited, and he tried out, and every time he tried out, somebody wanted him. So I realized that, it's time to really sit down and look at this industry and help him and allow him to make these decisions and be there to listen and guide. That's all you can do. But it's a wonderful industry, and really going to grow.
And Liz, in regards to Zachary, what was your reaction when he turned pro? Was it this big celebration? Were you blown away that, oh my gosh, my son can be a professional gamer?
Yeah, absolutely. At the beginning of all this, I wasn't too involved when he was with his teams, and he was, in the open division, I guess, and playing with those teams. And as it became going into Renegades, then it was like, wow, I really need to research this, and I really need to see, what's going on and what this all entails. And I was completely blown away about the opportunities that are out there, and what he can possibly accomplish, going into the esports route. And I researched everything I could research on the business, and I was blown away as to, what is available, and what these guys and girls can achieve out here.
And it goes so far beyond just being an athlete. The expansion of jobs in this industry, it not only just the athletes themselves, but in marketing and advertising and IT and development and gaming, it's really just it continues to grow and rise and and blow past those boundaries. But in regards to the athlete, oftentimes what fans see is what they see when they watch matches on Twitter or on YouTube. But what is life like for them, behind the consoles, away from the controllers? Are there any hardships or difficulties that they deal with day to day that maybe we just don't see when they're competing?
I think a lot of it is being away from home, I would imagine, is one of them. They're away from their families. They don't see them very often because the season is really long and there aren't really any breaks in between. So that's something that they have to deal with and they struggle with. It's a big adjustment too as far as the scheduling goes, because I know like Zach will be up at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and then they have round table, they talk, they have scrims for several hours, and then they have talks after, review after. So it's a long day for them, and then in between you also have to throw in sponsor commitments and videos and things like that they have to record as well. So it's a huge commitment for them, and they need, they have to know that going in, that it's gonna take a lot for them. It's a lot of work for them, and it pays off at the end, and they're proud of what they do. But I think missing their families, I would imagine, comes first for a lot of them. And just the time adjustment, they have to learn how to prioritize everything. So I think that's a learning curve for them.
And Randy, in regards to Raucus's journey, I mean, what hardships and adversity has he faced along the way, and maybe how has gaming or esports served as an outlet or an escape?
Well, we had a hardship. I'm sure if anybody's following the docuseries knows that when the Overwatch League started was, season 1. Right after season 1, stage 1, we lost Shane's dad, Rob, suddenly. And he had to go from California to, we had to have the funeral. Chose to go back and here and 3 years later. So having that kind of hardship and being able to persevere through it in such a professional manner, and it says a lot about a person. And I'm proud.
I remember seeing that clip in the docuseries. It was very moving and powerful. Does that experience drive Raucus, your son Shane, to this point and still continuing to compete at a high level and be successful, knowing that his father is still watching just from a bird's eye view?
I think so. Shane's very competitive, as everyone knows, as all these esports professionals are. He, on a side note, he won. They have a competition every year that's called the World Cup, the Overwatch World Cup, which is teams from all over the world compete against each other. And this year was the first year that someone other than the Korean team won, which Team USA won. So that was something that was really important to his dad. So I think that was a driving force. And I do believe that everything he does is to make his dad proud.
In terms of the industry and where it goes from here, both of you have been so involved with your children and their careers. You have experience with some gaming, but for the parents who might be watching this who really don't know really much about esports at all, because that seems to be the barrier these days for the industry is education of what it is and that it's more than just playing video games, that there's much more career and job opportunity there, and that kids can aspire to do that. What message would you give to parents who might not know much about esports in terms of this is a feasible industry for your child to have a career in as an adult?
Well, first of all, there are now.
Go ahead.
Okay, there are now college scholarships and college programs. So just like traditional sports, it can be a viable career. But I also want to caution that not every video game player or somebody who's good at video games can be an esports professional, just like anyone who plays football or softball or any of those, baseball or any of, traditional sports as a, teenager growing up and into college can become a professional. But everything within the esports industry is just as viable and just as reachable as any other traditional sports to make a career out of it and to be a part of.
Yeah. And I'd say just research, do your homework, research some of the orgs, research some of the players, reach out to some of us parents. We're more than happy to talk to you and to give you advice and guidance as to, how to do this and how to support your child. Definitely support them in their dreams. If this is something that they're really passionate about and they want to do it, give them a helping hand and let them try it. Find out as much as you can, and they'll be better for it, and you'll be better for it. And there's so much opportunity now, like Randy said, with the colleges and so many different sports now that they can go into with the esports. So many different, it's not just, Overwatch or League of Legends, there's Rocket League and there's Call of Duty and there's so many other up and coming. So if your child is showing, the desire to maybe pursue this, absolutely give them a chance, let them have at it and see how it goes. And I mean, it's definitely worth giving them the opportunity to do that.
And there's so many new games that haven't even come out yet, and that will lead to new leagues. And that's why I say it's just it. Sorry, go ahead, Randy.
I'd like to also mention that the esports community is very special, and there's a real bond there between the fans, the players themselves, the parents, the organizations. We all support each other. It is by far a wonderful community, and it's us parents that really bond together. We support each other's children, even if they're on different teams. We're always there for each other, and the community is there as well. It's a very unique community and so enjoyable.
It's absolutely one of the best things that has come from this esports experience.
With traditional sports. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what happens when we have Skype calls and there's seconds of delay. We talk over each other. I apologize. Liz, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just saying that it's an incredible experience when you get to meet all these parents, and it's such a bonded community. We all support each other's kids, and we support each other and whatever struggles we're going through. It's one of the best things to have come out of this whole esports journey with Zach is the friendships that I've made with the other parents of the players. It's really awesome, and I don't think you don't have that in traditional sports.
Yeah, you don't. It almost sounds like it's a youth sports type of culture or community for the parents as opposed to traditional pro sports. But I wanted to ask y'all before we let you go, and Randy, we'll start with you. Do you go to every match? How much travel's involved? And the most important question, what kind of mom fan are you? Are you the vocal rah-rah type, or are you more the reserve, sit towards the back, cross your arms and just observe everything?
I'm a super fan. I'm a crazy super fan. I'm there right with all the fans, cheering, screaming, acting crazy, wearing goofy outfits, always representing our team, or supporting another team if we're not playing. But traveling is a lot. Last year and the year before was really easy because all the teams were in Los Angeles, so there was one destination. This year with the homestands, meaning that everything was going to be geographically moved to everybody's home city, wherever that may be globally, we were really excited about traveling, and I was going to be at most of them. But with COVID, now it's back to online, back to the olden days.
I'm definitely one of those parents that, I had all my flights booked for the Dallas homestands in December. So, cheering and screaming. And when I can't be at the games, we're home on the couch, on the big TV. We have them up. Usually I'm in like a fetal position and I'm like, stressing over the outcome of the games. But no different than when he was playing soccer and I was on the sideline. So, yeah, cheering and screaming. It's just an awesome experience. It really is. It's a lot of fun. But, yeah, we're definitely both very vocal, I think. Right, Randy?
Yes, we are.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us some insight in what it's like to be the mom of an esport athlete and really what their careers and journeys have been like to this point. We wish you both all the best. Stay safe, and as well as your sons, Raucus and Zachary. We're not quite sure how to pronounce it with the 3 E's, but we will figure it out. Randy Flaherty and Liz Lombardo, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jonah Javad from outside our WFAA studios. Thanks for watching this special sidebar edition of the Lone Star Challenge.
They're known as Marty's Miracles, dogs sentenced to death, brought back to health with the methods of Dr. Marty Goldstein.
One of the greatest cases I ever had is a Rottweiler named Whiskey. He was given less than 24 hours to live by the referring veterinarian. The owner was certain he was going to die.
But Dr. Marty, a vet dubbed the Miracle Worker by Forbes magazine, made one simple change that lengthened Whiskey's life.
And he just lived for years and years after that.
Dr. Marty Goldstein is news of these remarkable recoveries has caught the media's attention, as well as that of many celebrity pet owners.
I've treated the dogs of Oprah Winfrey, Martha Stewart, Jerry Seinfeld, John Travolta and Kelly Preston.
But dogs don't need to see the doctor in person to get the benefits of his do-at-home technique for animal health and long life.
You will notice a marked difference in your dog within days by making this one simple change.
This is a bag of premium organic dog food. Think it's healthy for your dog to eat? Think again. Hi, this is Dr. Marty Goldstein. You may have seen me on Oprah, Good Morning America, or Martha Stewart Show, where I exposed how common pet foods could be shortening your dog's lifespan. Today, I'm going to expose 3 dangerous ingredients added to many pet foods, even foods that claim to be healthy, organic, and natural. I call them dog health destroyers. Because in my opinion, as a practicing veterinarian of over 45 years, they could lead to sickness, depression, bad digestion, joint pain, or even cancer in your dog. How do I know? I built my reputation as the veterinarian people come to from all over the world when faced with a sick pet who needs serious help. I'm humbled to have helped tens of thousands of animals. This is how I met Oprah. She came to me when her dog Sophie was becoming critically ill, and I was able to help Sophie make a full recovery in less than a week. But while it was exciting to meet Oprah and to have the dog whisperer Cesar Milan come to me for pet food advice, I don't feel you should have to be a celebrity to keep your dog healthy. So let's talk about how to keep your dog feeling strong, energetic, and have the longest life possible. I'm going to show you the same outline my wife and I use at home with our 3 dogs, Joey, Tilly, and Redford. And it's just as effective whether you have a new puppy, a rescue, or a middle-aged or senior dog you want to see having the health and energy of a younger dog again. I put this video together because I'm tired of the lies the pet food industry has told to the American public. I'm going to expose them right now because with the large premium pet food company Blue Buffalo recently having to pay a $32 million settlement when it was discovered their food labels contained false information. There has never been a better time to educate yourself. I'm also going to show you the one meat we humans eat that you should never feed your dog. and one common type of dog food found in every pet store in America that is missing a critical vitamin your dog needs to have a healthy heart. What's sad is that it is marketed to you as a premium food. Today you'll discover the truth, and by the way, on a personal note, I'm not sure if you were told to watch this video by a fellow dog lover, saw it on a news site, or was sent here by your local veterinarian. But because you are here, I know you love your dog. So from one dog lover to another, I commend you for watching this today. I think we know our dogs would do the same for us. Okay, please grab a piece of paper or something to take some notes, and let's begin. I discovered the first of the 4 dog health destroyers when I found a hidden harmful ingredient in my own food. Several years ago, I loved this name brand salad dressing that was known as Healthy Holistic Salad Dressing. Let's call it Maize Salad Dressing. I used to love maize avocado dressing. One day, I'm home in my kitchen, I'm eating my salad, and I have the bottle of maize in front of me. I turn it and it says, no preservatives added. Then I turned it around, and on the label, there's 3 preservatives listed in the ingredient list. What's going on here? I turn the bottle back around and it says, maize salad dressing, no preservatives added. Am I seeing things? I turn the bottle back around and there's 3 preservatives. I contacted somebody I really trusted in the food industry and I go, how are they doing this? The guy says, it's simple. Maize doesn't make salad dressing. I say, what are you talking about? He goes, maize a bottler. It turns out the maize company was buying salad dressing that already had preservatives in it. They were then sticking it in the bottle, and since they weren't adding any more preservatives, they could at that time legally say, no preservatives added. It was a trick. You may have heard